Welcome to the Three Parallels podcast with your host, the Dr. Branch, where we rediscover who we were, embrace who we are, and make room for who we're trying to become. The content of this podcast is for informational, educational, and entertainment purposes only. The information shared, including any materials linked to this podcast, is not a substitute for professional advice, therapy, diagnosis, treatment from a physician, therapist, coach, or other qualified professional. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed are my own and do not reflect any of those organizations or affiliations that I may be connected with. This podcast is designed for edutainment purposes, which is the blend of education and entertainment. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. Gator Talk. Gator Talk is the post-show Q&A session for the podcast. Every Friday, let's get ready to take the Three Parallels podcast beyond the episode. Join me, 9 a.m. Pacific Time, 12 p.m. Eastern for Gator Talk, our exclusive post-show Q&A session. Kick back, relax, step into the living room, a space for open, laid-back conversations with your hosts, me, Dr. Jason Branch, and fellow listeners. Let's break it all down together, what resonated, what hit home, and what's shifting in your journey from who you were to who you are and who you are becoming. It's real, it's raw, it's Gator Talk. Don't just listen, join the conversation. See you Friday. The Gator Scales Journal. It's game time. The Three Parallels podcast just leveled up with a powerful new resource for your journey and transformation. Introducing the Gator Scales Journal, your personal guide to shifting you from who you were to embracing who you are and to recognize who you are becoming. This isn't just a journal, it's a game changer for your growth, mindset, and evolution. Click the link to order your copy today or check it out on Amazon. Take ownership of your progress and don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and comment. Let's get to work, baby Gators. Are you stuck in the trunk of your own car, watching life pass you by? It's time to slide into the driver's seat with a licensed therapist as your co-pilot. Whether it's your first time in therapy, you need a push for growth, or you finally ready to invest in your mental wellness, I got you. With over 20 years of experience, I help people move from who they were to embrace who they are and make room for who they're trying to become. Therapy with me is real, raw, intentional, authentic, and of course, hilarious. Let's break some cycles together, shift your mindset, and unlock your best self. I'm on the passenger side messing with the radio, holding the map up, and we're going wherever you would like to go. Give us a call today at 404-436-2540 or shoot me a text to book your free consultation. Check us out on the web at www.drjbranch.com. Look forward to connecting with you. Have a great day. Welcome back to the Three Parallels podcast with your host, the Dr. Jason Branch, where we rediscover who we were, we embrace who we are, and we make room for who we're trying to become. On today's show, I got some heat and I got a gift for you, okay? And this gift is the gift that keeps giving, kind of like HIV, but this one, you don't really need medicine for. It is medicine. I just want to talk. Listen, I missed y'all. I really do. I missed y'all because, for Black History Month, we've been having a lot of guests on, and I love that because we're highlighting Black people, if you noticed. And we're not just highlighting just every Black person, but we're highlighting a lot of Black people that mean so much to me. Every Black person means something to me, but Black History Month is that extra Blackness, like that magic marker that you just keep writing on that piece of paper to cover up that Social Security number. That black, you know what I'm saying? Not like just regular black, but like black. Now, if you Black, you know the difference between black and black. Just like if you fat, you know the difference between fat and fat. Skinny, big, small, money, greedy, hungry, whatever. If you do it twice, that means it's extra nice. Hey, y'all, what's happening? So I'm excited because I got something to share. I always do, but for today, it's something different that I've never experienced before, and you all are on this journey with me, so I want to share this experience. So, in real time, it's happening, okay? So the podcast has not been out long. The podcast started back in December 4th, 2024 to be exact, and here we are in February or March. I don't know when this episode is going to be released, but it's going to be February or March, and I can't believe where we are in 90 days. I just cannot believe where we are in 90 days. And I can't imagine where we're going to be moving forward. So if you've been on this journey from the beginning, thank you. Here are your flowers. Thank you for rocking with me. Thank you for trusting me. Thank you for being silly with me, being funny with me. Because I've heard the stories. I've been hearing how this podcast has been impactful for so many people listening in different ways, getting ready for work, driving to work, in your office, trying to avoid your boss. Um, it's in the background while you cooking. Like I hear the stories and I love the stories because it makes it real. It makes it us. It makes it a connection because all of us connects in different ways. And imagine, you listening to this podcast and other people are listening too, getting the same energy you are and doing something with it. So it means the world to me. And I'm just thankful. So I want to take a moment of silence for you. Now we back to the show. So that's for you. That's for all the listeners. That's for the people rocking with me. That is for you specifically. So if you're thinking he's talking about me, yes, you, because you're listening. You're here. So I got something for you. Some breadcrumbs. You can do with it what you will. And the breadcrumbs that I have for you, for those who are new, because this may be your first episode, and that's cool too. Buckle up, buttercup. We in for a journey. So when it comes to the breadcrumbs, I view life as breadcrumbs because the breadcrumbs are things that's around us that's hidden in plain sight. Things that we're supposed to see, hear, feel, do, smell, whatever. It's right there in front of us, but we can't see it based on for our lens. That means our perspective. So our perspective is limited based off of our lived experience, our exposure, expertise, mentorship, experiences, you name it. It's limited because there's so much in this world we know nothing about. Ooh, we've already started. We've already started. So let me give you an example of there's so much in this world we know nothing about. For many of us, we have this perfectionist mentality. And that perfectionist mentality is black and white thinking, which means it's only one way or the other. Meaning I'm great or I'm horrible. I'm good or I'm this. I'm gonna pass this test or I'm gonna fail. I'm gonna graduate or I'm not. I'm gonna be this, I'm gonna be that. It's only one way or the other, which means that's very black and white. Let's break down this black and white mentality. Imagine you only got two choices for a drink, and that is water or coffee. That's it. That's black and white thinking. Water or coffee, or it could be clear and black, whatever you want to call it. Call it black. So, this black and white thinking, I'm limited to two options, water or coffee. And my whole life, I can go with these two options, these two ideas, these two beliefs, and that's how I live my life, which is very limiting. Because last time I checked, there's a minimum of 50 shades of gray. Minimum. Y'all seen the movie, y'all read the book. Is a minimum of 50 shades of gray. So actually, instead of two options, I got at least 52. Because if there's 50 shades of gray and it's black and white, that's 5-2. That's 52 options. There's not a lot of math here. Okay. I'm a therapist. I am not a mathematician. Part of the reason I became a therapist is so I won't have to do math. Just want to talk about facts. So, black and white think it's time for us to move away from that because those are 52 options. But I want you to think about substances as far as drinks. Okay. Liquid, what we ingest. And if you think about any liquid, anything that we drink, any drink whatsoever, there are millions of different types of drinks. Millions. Let's say, for instance, Coke products, hundreds of different ones from the past. You can go to the Coca-Cola factory, Coca-Cola museum in Atlanta. You can go down there now and try different types of Coke from all over the world. That's more options. That's just talking about Coke. We ain't even talking about Pepsi. We ain't even talking about liquor. Y'all know. Come on now. We just got out of this pandemic. Y'all know about that liquor. Because some of y'all went from water to wine. Come on, Jesus. Many of us still own the wine. We out of pandemic, y'all. Put that wine up. Get a little water or a little coffee. If you're looking at black and white thinking. However, if you're looking beyond that, I want you to think about how many options we have to drink from from juice to juice to Grey Goose. We got a lot of different options in between this spectrum, but if I'm not considering them, then I can never ingest, I can never have, I can never consume, I can never drink. And there's a lot of phenomenal drinks out there. Teas, black tea, green tea. You see, black just keeps coming up. Black History Month. So um from juice to I mean, you name it. So therefore, there are endless amounts of beverages that we can try, which means there's an endless amount of options we have available. Ooh, I hope you're seeing what I'm seeing. I just want to give you more options. This is an example of a breadcrumb. That's what I'm giving you right now. Things that's hidden in plain sight. Drinks have been around you your whole life. Every day you go out your house, you are exposed to different types of drinks. On a billboard, at your job, snack machine, drink machine, water fountain, you got options. No matter where you go, you see options for drink, but if we're only drinking what we're comfortable with, water and coffee. Are you seeing what I'm saying? But let's go a little bit further because I want you to know how extreme options we have. As a father, father two, my boys, Jalen and Cameron, they're my boys. 2 and 3.5. And man, they are me and Mia all day long. And one thing I love about where they are right now, they love reading, even though they can't. They try. So I'm reading 3 or 4 books at a time on repeat, about 3, 4 times a day throughout the day, which is great. They enjoy it. And as I'm reading these different books, these are books I would never read in life. Like, ABC Mouse. Like, well, what? Why am I reading ABC Mouse? But they like it. And there was this book from A to Z talking about different animals. And one of the animals that I saw, because I'm reading a book, and it said, um, did you know? And I'm asking you as I read the book, and I'm asking you now, did you know that there were 12,000 species of sea moss? Did you know that? I just learned it myself, reading this book to these boys. And I had to stop reading the book and pause. And they're like, Dad, what's up? What's up, man? Finish reading, bro. What are you doing? And I'm like, yo, wait a minute. Did y'all know it's 12,000 species of sea moss? They're like, Dad, what is sea moss? I said, yeah, sea moss. I thought it was just one person. First name Sea, last name Moss. It's 12,000 of these folks out here. And they looking at me. I'm looking at them. They're confused. I'm confused. And I said, wait a minute. If there's 12,000 species of sea moss, that means if I chose to learn about every species of sea moss once a day, I learn about a new species, it could take me 32.8 years to know all the species of sea moss. What the hell? That means if we add all this stuff together, right? 12,000 species of sea moss, 52 black and white thinking, right? So I got 12,052. I'm not even considering the millions of different types of beverages. So I got 1,012,052 options to choose from of how I can choose to live my life. Ooh, you put it down like that. It's like, man, what am I doing with this black and white thinking? The same thing I always been doing. Because I struggle with becoming the better version of me because I'm stuck in who I am right now based off of the person that I was in the past who's still running the show. Ooh, wee, the greatest show on earth. You in the middle of this circus of your own life because ain't nobody else responsible for you. You're still blaming people for what you do or don't do. Some of these people you blame dead and gone, been gone. Been gone, been dead. I just want to talk about it because ain't nobody talking about it. These are breadcrumbs, okay? Things hidden in plain sight. And what I would challenge you to do is once you start paying attention and picking up these breadcrumbs and eating pieces of these breadcrumbs, eventually you're going to come up with a slice. And if you eat enough slices, you're going to come up with a loaf. You end up eating enough loaves, you're going to wake up like me in Panera Bread. That's where I live at. Mm-hmm. You see the sign over there, right? Hello, Hustler. For those who cannot see, go to YouTube. This is on YouTube. For those who are not watching, go to YouTube. Watch, listen, whatever works for you. But there's a sign I got up. It said, Hello, Hustler. Okay? Because I want you to hustle. And the hustle that I'm giving you is waking up in a bread factory, meaning every single day I make bread. And we ain't even just talking about money, no pun intended. But making bread is I'm taking advantage of all the signs around me, all of them. And I make meaning out of them because we make meaning out of everything. Think about it. The reason somebody do this or that, they didn't tell you. You gave them a reason. Oh, he did this because he feel like that. Or, no. Unless somebody tell you, you don't know. And imagine how often we spend in our time in our mind worried about what somebody else thinks. I'm talking about you, my friend. But imagine if you stop doing that. Meaning, I wake up and prepare bread because I make bread. I make choices. I make decisions in my life to help me become the best version of me. Now, I want to share something personal. Self-disclosure. And I don't mind sharing because we family. So the other day, I'm building, my wife and I, we just moved into a new crib. Congratulations to us. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the flowers. Uh, and in this new crib, I'm building an island. I ain't never built no island before, but I'm building an island in our crib, figuring it out as I go. And what I recognized during me building this island was a salamander and a gator. Y'all already knew it was coming. Salamander and gator. And salamander and gator came up. For those who do not know, I want to refresh you on the salamander and gator mentality. But before I share the salamander and gator mentality, I want to share what happened to me. So I'm in the kitchen putting this thing together. It's about midnight because, the boys sleep, the house is quiet. I'm a night owl. So I'm up before, I'm knocking dishes out, getting some stuff done. So I had from 12 o'clock. And in my mind, I can knock this project out in about 2 hours. So 12 to 2, I'll be good. That project was from 12 to 4 a.m. Oh my goodness, I was up all night. But while I was doing it, I was noticing different versions of me emerge in this experience. So the first version of me was excitement. Oh my God, I get to build this island. I'm gonna take care of my family, being a father, being a family man. Everybody is gonna wake up in the morning having this new island in the kitchen. They're gonna lose it. I was excited about it. That was a salamander. It's new. Salamander has a mentality when it comes to new things, perfectionism. You know, um, there's 4 P's, and we're gonna talk a little bit more about it. But I had this mindset of excitement. I mean, bright eyed and bushy tail. So I want to show you now with this again. Like I mentioned, you may want to go to your YouTube to see this. So I'm going to share my screen because we're doing this in real time together, people. All right, here we go. I hope you can see my screen. If so, great. If not, then that's just what it is. I'm learning as I go. Okay. All right. Question is, are you a salamander? So when I started this project, I was a salamander soon as I started because of what I just shared with you. Salamanders have this idea about life, and there's 4 P's that I've summarized what a salamander is. And please know, anytime you start anything new or different, uncomfortable, you become a salamander. Because the first thing with the salamander is perfection. You want to do it right. You want to do it right the first time, even though you never did it. I've never built an island in my life. Only island I've been on had sand. Okay. So my mindset was I have to do this. I have to do it right. And I have to do it by 2 a.m. That was my perception. I perceived that I could finish this project that I've never done in 2 hours. Who does that? We all do. Assumptions based off of past experiences of things that we think what we know, but we do not know until we do. And now that I've done it, I know, yes, it takes 4 hours, but if I did it again, I could do it in 3 or 2, guaranteed. Because my perception has changed because of my experience. Next thing, number 3, patience. As a salamander, you have none. Zero patience. Why hasn't it happened now? Why isn't this done? Why is it taking me so long? I just want to give you me. That's what was happening to me. Why is it taking so long? I'm supposed to be done with this. Why I got to take out screws and put screws in and turn things around? Why am I not done? Why haven't I gotten this yet? And I start beating myself up just like you. I'm beating myself up about something I know nothing about. Sounds familiar? Yes, that's you. Because anything you do that's new, that's what comes up. If you're in a new marriage, new relationship, new job, new car, new home, new whatever is new, this is what's going to happen first. Last is present. You're not there. You're not fully present because you're probably in the future or the past. Oh my goodness. I told you I had something for you. You're in the future or the past. That's where you live. Now, if you notice with this salamander, mouth wide open, eyes wide open, salamanders usually are this way. They're vulnerable, they're penetrable, everything sticks. It's like a turtle outside of the shell. You out here naked and afraid, and I ain't talking about the TV show. That's a salamander. You're vulnerable, you're penetrable, everything sticks. You're sensitive, highly sensitive, because that's who we are as human beings. Now, what happened for me is I recognized the moments where I was salamandering and I was looking towards making a transition towards being a gator. Now, when you transition towards being a salamander to a gator, that place in between time, in the meantime, which many of you are right now, you're a saligator, right in the middle. hmm That's you being a turtle outside of the shell, waiting for your new shell, your better shell to grow into because you've outgrown your old shell. I want you to see all these parallels. Why do you think it's called Three Parallels Podcast? Because there's a lot of different parallels that I share. And some of it you may catch, some of it you ain't on this floor yet of the hotel. Because many of us still living it, still staying at Days Inn while others at Intercontinental. There's a different vibe. There's a different tribe. There's a different feeling. You know exactly what that is. So if you're a gator, understand, you see that gator, arms folded, scales on, ready, protected, armored up. So even with this gator that's armored up, that's protected, there's an underbelly that's the most vulnerable side. And that vulnerable side, nobody has access to unless you want them to have access. Very different from a salamander. Salamander, everybody have access. Think about your phone. Think about people who got keys to your house. Come on. So our boundaries are not the greatest. Those are salamanders. But if you're a gator, your boundaries are up to par. You see those arms folded, that means back up. Boo boo, back up. I'm doing something. Doing something right now. Mouth closed, teeth out, which means I'm about business. Don't come over here unless you want to get bit in the ass or the arm. I'm biting. Salamanders don't bite. You can see the picture. You ain't got no teeth. Salamander can't bite because you ain't got no teeth. You know what you don't have? Scales. You have none. You ain't even got toenails. You see that? No fingernails, no toenails. You just out here vulnerable. And salamanders talk the most shit with no teeth. Whoo, I was talking the most shit about this island. It's going to be this, it's going to be that. That was my belief based off being a salamander. But when I transitioned to a gator, and that was about hour two, I transitioned to a gator because when I thought I was going to be done, I wasn't done. So I had to humble myself and recognize this is not about perfection. This is about being consistent. So every time I thought about, all right, I'll stop now, I'll go to sleep, I'll finish tomorrow. I start thinking about now, if you leave this project half done, the boys gonna tear it up tomorrow. They're gonna be all throughout this damn island. You got to finish. So I was determined to finish. Now, what gators are, they're not trying to be perfect. Gators are trying to be consistent. They just keep showing up. They just keep working. They keep practicing. I became a gator in that moment. I just recognized my perfectionist ways and had to decide to be a gator, which means I'm being consistent. One piece, one page, one screw, one bolt at a time. Part two, gators are curious. Salamanders, they have a perspective. I shared that before about the beverages. Gators are curious. They want to know more. So for me, I wanted to know more. So I didn't recognize I've been doing this my whole life because I'm a visual learner. When I put furniture or different things together, I usually look at the pictures. I never read the words. So for 40 plus years, anytime I look at instructions, I'm looking at the pictures and figuring it out. Maybe some screws and bolts missing. Okay, I didn't need them. I didn't need them because it still worked. And half the stuff I put together, I don't even know if I put together or not. But it didn't break down, which lets me know, for other know, it's fine. But for this particular time, 43 years later, I recognized some missteps because I wasn't reading while looking. The difference between these two things is the balloon and string. Understand the difference between the balloon and string. And you're probably in a relationship with yourself or other people where you notice a balloon and string. A balloon person, they float, they fly, they in the damn universe. They on the moon with Elon them. String person on the floor, on the ground. One foot stays on the ground because they're details and everything has to make sense. And I got to process first. I'm not trying to take action until I know how everything works. Balloon person, I'm out here. I'll figure it out along the way. Those two qualities are phenomenal and they can be hurtful at the same time. However, when you put those two together, when you put the balloon and string together, you go any and everywhere. And that's exactly what I did. And that changed everything. So I started reading and looking at the pictures. I was able to get things done a lot quicker, a lot smoother, a lot easier, less stress, less mess. Which brings me to number three, that creative space. The creative space is who you are authentically. Who I am authentically is a visual learner. Who I'm growing to be is a learner that reads. I don't like reading. I did for my whole life. Didn't like reading. Um, and so when I'm creative, I'm using visuals to create. But what I learned about myself, once I start adding the reading and the visual, it takes everything to the next level because it's putting a balloon and string together. That's how I was creative. So I was creative in putting this island together, following instructions, but I did it my way, and it worked. Number four, gators are courageous. That means they take risks. I took a huge risk by side and put an island together when I've never done it before at midnight, thinking I can finish at 2 o'clock, but I tried it anyway. I was determined. I was a salamander. Yeah, I can do it. And I did it. 4 hours later, the project was done. And guess what I did? Exactly what gators do, what salamanders do not do. I celebrated. I celebrated. It's 4 o'clock in the morning and I am having a party by myself. I was wide awake, wired, having a party, played some music, had my headphones on, had a ball, and just bask at looking at the work that I was able to accomplish. It was a phenomenal moment. And as I suspected, the next day, my family came downstairs and was excited. Oh my God, we got an island. What? 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 We celebrated because now we have more space in our kitchen. It was a win-win. Everybody won. That's because that gator came out. And I stopped being worried about trying to do it perfect and just getting it done. Nobody knew, nobody cared. It was me and that damn island. And I got it done. So I want to share this with you because more often than not, we struggle with our own stuff. Okay. More often than not, we struggle with it. And that struggle, our own stuff, is the three versions of us: who we were, who we are, who we're becoming. Every day you get to decide who you're going to be. Am I going to be a gator or am I going to be a salamander? Now, anytime you hear gator and salamander, you're going to hear Dr. Jason Branch, because who else is talking about gators and salamanders? Nobody but me. If so, let me know. Shoot me an email. Three parallels podcast at gmail.com. That's the number three parallels podcast at gmail.com. Email me. Dr. Branch, this person over here talking about salamanders. Nope. Unless it's Steve Irwin. It ain't happening. So they're not connecting salamanders to us as people. So again, four P's of salamander life, five C's of gator life. Because gators got five because they extra. That's me. That's us. We extra. So now we get into a place where you can begin to invest more in you. And that's what I want to offer you. So, as you know, with this podcast, I've curated a playlist. I hope you're still diving into that playlist because the playlist is designed for you. The playlist has breadcrumbs inside and out of it. So the playlist is on Spotify, Apple Music, and the playlist is real simple instructions. You put on a playlist, you hit shuffle and hit play and just let it ride. Within the first three songs, you're going to hear, see, feel a breadcrumb. It's going to be a song that's going to take you back to a place. It's going to be a song you may not have heard before, give you a chance to be exposed to something new or different. Every song has been hand selected by me and the guests on this show and experiences that's around me to give you messages so you can finally wake up in Panera. That's the playlist. Then you have the podcast. You know what you're going to get every week from me, twice a week. So new episodes every Sunday, every Wednesday. Sunday is the interview with me and somebody doing some big things, becoming the best version of themselves. Wednesday is me talking shit as a gator and a salamander, because both worlds will exist with me and I'm willing to share it. So the next thing, this is my next project that I'm really excited about, is to give you something tangible. I've developed the Gator Scales Journal. Yes, the Gator Scales Journal that accompanies this podcast, that accompanies the playlist, that accompanies life. And this is the first product I've ever put out. And I'm excited about it because, I have something that now I've had in me and I decided to give it away or give it out. And it can help you on your journey of life. It's kind of like an experience, a small experience of therapy with me. Small, very small. It's not therapy. Please know this podcast, this journal, that playlist is not a substitute. Social media is not a substitute for therapy. Get you a therapist and stop piecemealing trying to get a therapist. Okay. No piecemeal. Go get you a therapist. Pay for it. Use your insurance. Do whatever you need to do. Ask, reach out to me. If you got questions about therapy, I am your guy. If you need a therapist, I am your guy. You see how I talk? This is what I do in therapy all day. I'm worse in therapy because it's just me and you and it's confidential. So I'll be talking mad shit. But it's all to help you help yourself because I'm doing the same thing for me. I'm getting better every day. So if you need a therapist, you're located in Georgia, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, I'm available. Holla at your boy. I am accepting new clients. So reach out. You can find me anywhere. I'm Googleable now. Before, and this was several years ago, no shade, no disrespect, the other Jason Branch was kicking my ass. And the other Jason Branch was a white gay male porn star, and he was killing me. No pun intended. But now I got him. No pun intended. But he's on the third page now. I'm on the first page. I'm proud of that. I'm excited about that. I'm sharing my joy with you all because I was a salamander first until I became a gator. Guess what? He's a salamander. I don't know where he at, what he doing now, but they ain't none of my business. What I do know is I'm Googleable. So if you need a new therapist, holla at your boy. If you need a consultant for your business, for your personal life, I got you. Being a consultant is different from being a therapist because I can do both. But a consultant, we're looking at things on the surface and going beneath the surface, but not deep. Therapy, we go deep. You need scuba gear for therapy. Consulting, we can hang out in the basement a little bit, but we ain't finna go too deep because it's surface based things of projects that how can I get from A to B? That's it. A plus B equals C. I want to help you get to C, whatever it is, project, personal, professional. I got you. I just want to give you me right now. Right now, you can do whatever you choose to do with it. So, the Gator Scales Journal, my first product that I'm pushing, I'm putting out there for you. It's all the things that we talk about in the podcast, even more things that I talk about in therapy, things that I share in therapy, self-care planning. I mean, you name it, it's in there. So go to Amazon, check out Amazon, check the reviews, check the buy, like look into it. Don't whether you buy it or not, it's still there. Okay. So because everybody has their reasons or choices for what they do. I just want to put out something to help you help yourself. That's my main objective in life. I used to be talking about who we were, who we are, who becoming. Who I used to be a savior, and my mentality being a savior was that Superman mentality. Until that Superman mentality always almost killed me, and then I decided to take my cape off. I decided to take my cape off, and I transitioned from a savior to a helper. My job is to help, not to save, because there's only one person that can control or change, and that's me. Now that I know that, I will never go back to that Superman mentality, that savior mentality, because it doesn't work. It kills us slowly, internally to external. Don't believe me? Ask any black grandmama if they're still here to ask. Let that marinate. So, moving forward, the journal, check it out, share it. This podcast, check it out, share it, like, comment, subscribe. If you subscribe every week, twice a week, you getting some breadcrumbs. And to me, it doesn't matter when you listen, how you listen. Anytime anytime you listen, you're going to get something. I don't know what, but you're going to get something. I would love to hear from you if you get something. Put a comment, share it, shoot me an email, shoot me a text, holla at me. I want to know because I'm speaking out here. I'm hearing some things here and there. I would love to hear more. So if you're tuning in, don't be shy. Don't be ashamed. Holla at your boy. If you're a salamander, holla. You a gator, holla. You a saligator, holla. To close this thing out, right now, I want you to imagine yourself in Panera Bread. You got the whole uniform on. You got the little polo, khakis, nice shoes. Got the hat tilt to the side a little bit. Hands just flowered up. You got dough in the back, but it's rising. Because as we making dough, you got to put it in you got to let it rise. And it rise before you can even put it in the oven. That takes time. So for you to transition from a salamander to a gator, it takes time. But once you become this person that lives in Panera, you remain a gator until you do something new. And how often is that? Every day. My challenge to you, life work, because I don't give homework, I give life work. I challenge you to do something new, different, and or uncomfortable every single day this week. I don't care what it is. If it scares you, do it. As long as you're safe. And if you have to, blame me. Dr. Brand said I had to do this. I don't care. They ain't gonna beat me up. They ain't gonna find me. Tell them. Dr. Brand said this. Dr. Brand said I gotta go get some ice cream. Dr. Brand said I gotta brush my teeth with the opposite hand. Dr. Brand said I gotta shave my hair off. Dr. Brand said I need to dye my hair or color my hair or put these glasses on, take these glasses off, go to the doctor, get a doctor's appointment. Say hi. Go greet a greeter at Walmart. Go do something you've never done because this is what gives you more options. As I mentioned, you got 12,052. You got 1,012,052 options that we know of. Imagine the ones that we don't. This has been another phenomenal episode of the Three Parallels Podcast with your host, the Dr. Jason Branch, where we rediscover who we were, who we are, and who we are becoming. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining. Again, I want to hear from you. Holla at me. I'm out here by myself. Hello, hustler. Doing the best I can with what I have, hoping that you do the same thing. I love you. I appreciate you. I respect you. I value you. I cherish you. I see you. I hear you. I understand you. You are supposed to be here. I need you to act like it. Peace.